A, a very good morning. It's just past 8 this 20th Feb morning and we're back again with Breakfast Show. I'm Anil Thomas and with me is Preeti this morning. First up, over the next 1 hour, we'll take you through all the major happenings from the field of politics, business, sports and entertainment, not only India but across the globe. But what do we have else in store, Preeti, today morning?
Yes, we'll keep you busy for the next 1 hour. We'll get you everything that will making it to the headlines. But first, let's see what is it that makes the date special today?
Well, today is the World Day of Social Justice. The theme of this year is closing the inequalities gap to achieve social justice for people across the world. Well, that's going to be the theme that we're going to explore across the day. But first up, this Thursday morning, let's take a look at the headlines we are tracking this hour.
Mahan Nritya Gopal Das nominated President and Champat Rai General Secretary of Ram Mandir Tirth Kshetra Trust at its first meeting. Former Principal Secretary to the Prime Minister Nripendra Misra to head the Temple Construction Committee.
Union Cabinet approves making the flagship crop insurance scheme voluntary for farmers with existing crop loans or those willing to take new ones. CCEA approves setting up of 10,000 new farmer producer organizations by 2024. Second phase of Swachh Bharat Mission Rural also gets cabinet nod.
In a bid to safeguard reproductive rights of women, the Union Cabinet approves Assisted Reproductive Technology Regulation Bill. The bill seeks to regulate ART services in India, proposes stringent punishment for those practicing sex selection and sale of human embryos or gametes.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the US President Donald Trump to hold talks in Delhi on 25th of February. Issues like strategic partnership in defense, security, counter-terrorism, trade, energy and people-to-people exchanges to be discussed. World's largest cricket stadium at Motera in Ahmedabad to host Namaste Trump event on 24th of Feb.
Indian military aircraft C-17 to fly to China to bring back Indians from COVID-19 hit Wuhan. In Japan, the number of Indians tested positive for COVID-19 aboard a quarantined cruise ship Diamond Princess rises to 7.
In international news, at least 8 persons reported dead in a drive-by shooting in Hunar in Germany. 5 others seriously injured in twin shooting incidents.
All right, those are the top stories we're tracking this hour. We'll get to the news in detail now.
Well, starting first up, the first meeting of the Ram Mandir Trust to oversee the construction of Ram Temple in Ayodhya was held in New Delhi on Wednesday. In the meeting, Mahanta Nritya Gopal Das was elected as the president of the trust, whereas Champat Rai was elected as the general secretary. It was also decided to open an account in Ayodhya State Bank of India branch for donations for the Ram Temple construction.
नृत्य गोपाल दास जी महाराज को और मुझे स्वयं चंपत राय को ट्रस्टी के रूप में नामित करने के बाद नृत्य गोपाल दास जी राम जन्मभूमि तीर्थ क्षेत्र के अध्यक्ष और मैं स्वयं उसका महासचिव और मेरे साथ मेरे बाईं ओर खड़े हैं पूज्य स्वामी गोविंद देव गिरी जी महाराज, वो इसके कोषाध्यक्ष घोषित किए गए.
The meeting held at the residence of veteran lawyer K. Prasannan also elected Prime Minister Narendra Modi's former Principal Secretary Nripendra Misra as the head of the Temple Construction Committee of the Sri Ram Janmabhoomi Tirth Kshetra Trust. The trust has been mandated by the central government to complete the construction of Ram Temple at Ayodhya.
एक और बहुत बड़ा निर्णय लिया गया कि एक भवन निर्माण समिति बनेगी जो सब प्रकार का प्रशासनिक कार्य और निर्माण कार्य पर विशेषज्ञों के साथ निर्णय करके काम को आगे बढ़ाएगी. उसके चेयरपर्सन, उसके चेयरमैन भारत सरकार के बहुत वरिष्ठ प्रशासनिक अधिकारी, 1967 बैच के आईएएस अफसर, प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी के भी वो सचिव रहे ऐसे नृपेंद्र मिश्रा को हमने इस कार्य के लिए चुना है कि वो निर्माण समिति के चेयरपर्सन रहेंगे।
The Union Cabinet has decided to make its flagship crop insurance schemes voluntary for farmers with existing crop loans or those willing to take new loans. It also approved the second phase of Swachh Bharat Mission Rural, besides the constitution of an empowered technology group which will advise the government on priorities and strategies for research on emerging technologies across the sectors. Significantly, the Cabinet also approved the Assisted Reproductive Technology Regulation Bill that seeks to regulate rapidly increasing ART services in India.
Union Cabinet has approved revamping of Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana and restructured weather-based crop insurance scheme to address the existing challenges in implementation of these schemes. Enrollment under the schemes will be made voluntary for all farmers. As a result, a separate scheme would be prepared to provide financial support and effective risk mitigation tools to highly water-stressed 151 districts.
प्रधानमंत्री फसल बीमा योजना को स्वैच्छिक कर दिया गया है। जो किसान ज्वाइन करना चाहे उसके लिए ये खुला मंच है और किसानों का प्रीमियम उतना ही रहेगा। पूर्वोत्तर राज्य जो 50% उनकी हिस्सेदारी प्रीमियम में रहती थी उसमें निर्णय करके अब 90% केंद्र का रहेगा और 10% राज्यों को जमा करना होगा।
The Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs has given its approval to 10,000 farmer producer organizations which will be formed in 5 years to ensure economies of scale for farmers. Through this, the farmers will have better collective strength for better access to quality input, technology, credit and better marketing access.
इस पूरी परियोजना के लिए 6,866 करोड़ रुपया इसकी स्वीकृति आज मंत्रिपरिषद ने हम लोगों को दी है। एफपीओ बनाने में एसएफएसी, एनसीडीसी और नाबार्ड ये 3 एजेंसियां हैं जो निश्चित रूप से एफपीओ को प्रोत्साहित करेंगी और एक बिजनेस संगठन प्रोफेशनल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को भी हम जोड़ेंगे।
The government has also approved rupees 4,558 crores for a scheme to promote the dairy sector which will benefit about 95 lakh farmers. This scheme will take the white revolution to the next level. The cabinet has also approved phase 2 of the Swachh Bharat Mission Grameen till 2024-25. It will focus on open defecation free plus which includes ODF sustainability and solid and liquid waste management.
ये स्वच्छ भारत की अब दूसरा चरण आया जिसमें ओडीएफ प्लस का मतलब है कि देहातों में भी जो कचरा प्लास्टिक का हो, दूसरा गीला कचरा हो, तो सब कचरे का निष्पादन भी ठीक तरीके से हो, ये जरूरी है।
In one more legislative measure to protect women's reproductive rights, Cabinet has approved a historic bill for the welfare of women in the country, the Assisted Reproductive Technology Regulation Bill 2020. A national board and a state board will be set up to help implement the legal framework. Those indulging in embryo sale and trafficking can be fined and even put behind bars according to the provisions of the bill.
मेडिकल टर्मिनेशन प्रेगनेंसी का जो बिल है वो अपने आप में अलग है, असिस्टेड रिप्रोडक्टिव टेक्नोलॉजी का बिल अपने आप में अलग है और मैं दोबारा दोहराती हूँ ये सारे कदम और विशेष जो सरेगेसी और मेडिकल टर्मिनेशन ऑफ प्रेगनेंसी बिल अगर आप विश्व के किसी भी देश को आज देख लीजिए हिंदुस्तान उसमें सबसे प्रोग्रेसिव भूमिका में नजर आएगा जिसके लिए हर हिंदुस्तानी को गर्व होना चाहिए कि हमारे देश में औरत के रिप्रोडक्टिव राइट्स को सुनिश्चित करने के लिए पुरुषों ने या समाज ने भी पल्ला नहीं झाड़ा, सरकार ने भी कदम से कदम मिलाया।
Cabinet has also approved constitution of a 12-member technology group with the principal scientific advisor to the Government of India as its chair. The group is mandated to render timely policy advice on latest technologies, mapping of technology and technology products. With inputs from Sudhakar Das in New Delhi, TD India.
Ahmedabad is all set to welcome President Trump on Monday. From Howdy Modi in Houston to Namaste Trump, the bonhomie between President Trump and Prime Minister Modi will add another leaf to India-US ties.
President Trump reciprocating India's Namaste Trump call. This will be his first bilateral visit to India. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will host President Trump in Ahmedabad as well as New Delhi on the 24th and 25th of February.
I happen to like Prime Minister Modi a lot, and he told me we'll have 7 million people between the airport and the event. And the stadium, I understand, is sort of semi under construction, but it's going to be the largest stadium in the world, so it's going to be very exciting. But he says between the stadium and the airport, we'll have about 7 million people, so it's going to be very exciting.
Like the Howdy Modi event in Houston, Namaste Trump event will be held at the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel Stadium or Motera Stadium after it is inaugurated by the US President on February 24th.
A land that breeds cricket, a land where cricket is not just a game, it's a religion. This land now has the world's largest cricket stadium and will be hosting US President Donald Trump and Prime Minister Narendra Modi on the same stage at its inaugural. When President Donald Trump will be on his maiden visit to India, Gujarat is all set to welcome him. All the posters are up. There are several billboards, also posters depicting Prime Minister Narendra Modi, President Donald Trump and the First Lady Melania Trump on the posters. Also, the posters speak of the amalgamation and the meeting of two big democratic countries and all the things, all for the road show and for his different visits to different places. All of it is being kept into place, and Ahmedabad and Gujarat is all equipped to host the US President and its First Lady. With camera person Sumit Nadia, this is Meghna Dev, DD News, Ahmedabad.
And US President Donald Trump and US First Lady Melania Trump will be on their first visit to India at the invitation of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. India, in its uniquely diverse way, is excited to welcome US President Donald Trump and the US First Lady.
राष्ट्रपति डोनाल्ड ट्रम्प भारत में आपका बहुत
स्वागत है डोनाल्ड ट्रम्प भारत देशाనికి स्वागत
मोहतरम सदर जनाब डोनाल्ड ट्रम्प हिंदुस्तान में आपका खैर मकदम है
भारत में पधारवा માટે
डोनाल्ड ट्रम्प તમારું ખૂબ
बहुत स्वागत है।
डोनाल्ड ट्रम्प क्या लगता है
US प्रेसिडेंट डोनाल्ड ट्रम्प आपका भारत में स्वागत है।
હું ઇન્ડિયામાં સર ડોનાલ્ડ ટ્રમ્પને સ્વાગત કરું છું।
डोनाल्ड ट्रम्प
We welcome you to India.
राष्ट्रपति ट्रम्प भारत देशम रे अड़ी रसकत आतंकदाराम दीकन
माननीय प्रेसिडेंट ट्रम्प अपने के भारत में बहुत बहुत स्वागत भाई।
अइन प्रेसिडेंट ट्रम्प इंडिया द तराम उपचेरी
ट्रम्प जी भारत में आपका स्वागत है।
राष्ट्रपति डोनाल्ड ट्रम्प
हिंदुस्तान में आपका खैर मकदम करते हैं।
प्रेसिडेंट ट्रम्प ने इंडिया की आह्वानिస్తున్నాము स्वागतम పలుకుతున్నాము।
और ट्रम्प जी
आपको स्वागत करते हैं अपना देश।
அமெரிக்க அதிபர் ட்ரம்பை இந்திய மக்கள் அனைவரும் அன்போடு வரவேற்கிறோம்।
भारत देशम
मैं अमेरिका राष्ट्रपति डोनाल्ड ट्रम्प
स्वागत करूं था
श्रीमान डोनाल्ड ट्रम्प इंडिया देवी
स्वागत है। डोनाल्ड ट्रम्प আমাদের ভারতবর্ষে আপনার অনেক অনেক স্বাগতম।
Mr. President, soon this Hindustan के स्टोरस पिक्चर is serving much wounded but
इस्तकबाल करान
भारतान तुमका हुनुनित योका दिता माननीय राष्ट्रपति ट्रम्प
प्रेसिडेंट डोनाल्ड ट्रम्प
भारत में स्वागत करी वेलकम टू इंडिया डोनाल्ड ट्रम्प भारत में आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है राष्ट्रपति डोनाल्ड ट्रम्प।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Donald Trump shared a lot in common. Not only are the two leaders dynamic and mass leaders, they are also prolific in their social media engagement. The frequent Twitter exchanges between them bear out this fact. Take a look.
They are the leaders of the world's largest and oldest democracies. They draw enormous crowds at their rallies and other public events. They both rose to power as leaders of the masses. And they will have a lot to talk about when President Donald Trump visits India for the first time on the 24th of February. Trade, strategic ties, security, defense deals and enhancing people-to-people connect are just a few topics on the agenda.
The US market has been the single largest market for Indian exporters. For expectations of a mini trade deal because it's important for India. Defense deals will definitely be on the table, including perhaps for helicopters, and there's talk because the US has sent to the Congress the notification for authorization of sale of integrated air defense systems.
The two leaders may find they have much in common if they venture into the world of social media. Both are prolific users of social networking sites. Donald Trump is the most popular head of state or government with 72.6 million followers on Twitter, while Prime Minister Modi is at number 2 with 53.1 million followers. In fact, President Trump announced his India visit tweeting, "Great honor, I think." Mark Zuckerberg recently stated that Donald J. Trump is number 1 on Facebook. Number 2 is Prime Minister Modi of India. Actually, I'm going to India in 2 weeks. Looking forward to it. In 2017 too, using his official POTUS account, President Trump tweeted that he is looking forward to discussing important strategic issues with a true friend. Playing host after the meeting in the White House, President Trump recalled his previous campaign pledge that if elected, India would have a true friend in the White House.
During my campaign, I pledged that if elected, India would have a true friend in the White House. And that is now exactly what you have, a true friend.
President Trump also praised PM Modi's Twitter prowess.
Prime Minister Modi and I are world leaders in social media. We're believers, giving the citizens of our countries the opportunity to hear directly from their elected officials and for us to hear directly from them.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi also described his White House visit as being filled with friendliness from the opening tweet to the end of talks.
ओपनिंग ट्वीट से लेकर हमारी वार्ता के समापन तक राष्ट्रपति ट्रंप की मित्रता भरे वेलकम का मैं हृदय से आभार व्यक्त करता हूं।
Fast forward to 23rd May 2019. President Trump was among the first world leaders to congratulate the Prime Minister on his massive second-term win. He tweeted, "Congratulations to Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his BJP party on their big election victory. Great things are in store for the US-India partnership with the return of PM Modi at the helm. I look forward to continuing our important work together." Prime Minister Modi's prompt response read, "Thank you, Donald Trump. This victory represents the aspirations of a nation of 1.3 billion people. I too am looking forward to working closely with you for closer bilateral ties, which also augur well for global peace and prosperity." Then on the 23rd of September, Prime Minister Narendra Modi tweeted to the US President hours after the two world leaders shared the stage at a mega event in Houston, calling it a watershed moment in India-USA ties. President Trump's response on the microblogging site was short and sweet: "The USA loves India." And this love between the two countries, led by two dynamic leaders, will definitely grow stronger when President Trump has another date with PM Modi next week. Bureau Report, DD News.
All right, we'll get you more news, but at present, the news just coming in, at least 17 people killed in a bus-truck collision in Tamil Nadu. Another collision between private bus and truck has happened in Tirupur, and at least 17 people are feared dead in this collision. To get us more on that, Philip is joining us. Philip, we've got the early details. You get us more. We've told our viewers that there is a bus-truck collision in Tamil Nadu. Spell out more details. Philip, if I'm audible, let us know more details. There is a bus-truck collision in Tamil Nadu. 17 people have died. Let us know more. Philip, our correspondent Philip Matthews joining us to get us more. Philip, if I'm audible, let us know more about the collision. A private bus and a truck have collided in Tirupur. 17 people are dead. Let us know more details.
I understand that, the bus was a Karnataka State Road Transport Corporation bus, which apparently was traveling from Bangalore to Ernakulam. And apparently it was a Volvo bus in which regularly travels along this route, making overnight journeys. And apparently close to Tirupur, apparently early in the morning, the bus was apparently rammed by a truck coming from the opposite direction, which jumped the median in the process of trying to overtake another vehicle. And in the process, it crossed over to the other side and rammed into the side of this bus, in which the latest figures we are told, although this is unconfirmed as yet, We are told anywhere between 17 to 20 people have been killed in the accident. So details are still sketchy, but the SP,
Are there more
District
people
Collector and other
trapped?
senior officials are at the spot overseeing the rescue and relief operations.
Philip, considering that you're talking about it as a KRCTC bus, KSRTC bus, how many people are on board of the bus? And we've got numbers of 18 till now, but how many people are on board the bus?
Well, we understand from sources that anywhere between 45 to 50 people were on board.
Okay.
That is what we are being told. So this apparently, it was the side of the bus which took the maximum impact. So all those who were seated in the front towards the right side were the ones who probably suffered the most. And of course, the number of injured are still being tallied. But since it happened early morning, most people were probably unaware of the exact sequence of events. And we are told that the staff of the bus, the driver and conductor, are also among the casualties, although, again, this needs to be confirmed.
All right, Philip, the bus was going from Karnataka's Bengaluru to Kerala's Ernakulam. Let us know more about the accident side. You tell us that it was overspeeding when it rammed into the bus, and the collision happened. Let us know more about the terrain there, the accident site.
Well, it's along the regular highway, so it's not as if the terrain was particularly difficult. It's just that, in the early morning hours, that is when most accidents tend to happen, because not just drivers, but most of those on the road at that particular point of time tend to be probably at their least alert, and that is when most accidents tend to happen. And in this case, this was apparently a container lorry which was on its way along the road on the opposite side, and it apparently tried to overtake another vehicle, and in the process it seems to have jumped the median and entered the lane in which the Volvo bus was traveling, and that is when the accident took place. So as I said, details are still sketchy, but it does appear that initially, at least, that the fault appears to have been that of the container lorry. So the driver, the bus at least, was proceeding in its allotted lane towards Ernakulam, but that is when the lorry rammed into it. But as I said, since it happened in the early morning hours, most people were simply unaware of it, and that could have been one reason why the casualties are on the higher side.
Philip, since you mentioned it's a 48-seater bus, and roughly around the unconfirmed reports that we still have is around 18 deaths being reported. What's happened to the other people? Are they stuck in the bus? Have they been safely evacuated?
No, we understand that most of them have been removed from the bus and been shifted to nearby hospitals. So as I said, some of them are grievously injured, so the death toll could well rise in the coming hours.
And is the highway still open for traffic? Wherein 17 people have died. It is indeed an important accident. There is the highway still open for traffic?
Yes, we are told that the vehicle is being moved to the side, and in fact the process of opening up the road to traffic is underway. In fact, the SP and the local traffic officials are at the spot right now, trying to ensure that traffic returns to normal in this area, because, as I said, it's along an important route, and therefore it's absolutely essential that traffic is restored at the earliest.
Okay, we'll leave it there. 18 people feared dead in that collision there. A KSRTC bus in collision with a truck there on the busy streets on the national highway. We'll get you more updates on that particular story at this point of time. But time now to move ahead and take a look at the other stories. Indian students in the United States play a significant role in boosting people-to-people ties. The United States has recognized and appreciated the contributions of Indian students in every discipline. An asset to the United States, these students contribute to more than $8 billion to its economy. They play an important role in the field of research and innovation. On April 21, 2005, the House of Representatives of the United States Congress passed a resolution which recognized the contributions of Indian American community to American economic innovation and society. It highlighted the contributions of IIT students in every discipline and stated that through research and innovation, IIT students have played an important role in building ties of mutual support and cooperation.
जो हमारा मुख्य रिलेशन अमेरिका से है वो हमारे एल्यूमनाई का है कम से कम इस वक्त IIT दिल्ली के मेरे अनुमान से 8 से 10,000 एल्यूमनाई अमेरिका में होंगे और इन्होंने बहुत अच्छा काम किया है। कईयों ने बहुत सक्सेसफुल कंपनियां चलाई हैं और ये शुरू से चलाते आए हैं। पिछले कुछ सालों में भी हमारे IIT दिल्ली के एल्यूमनाई ने काफ़ी अच्छी कंपनियां अमेरिका में चलाई हैं जो कि यूनिकॉर्न कहलाती है, जिसका मतलब उनका इवैल्यूएशन $1 बिलियन से ज़्यादा है।
In the recent years, there was a decline in the number of IIT students moving to the United States after graduating. Earlier, nearly 50% of the IIT graduates moved to America for work, but now it has come down to nearly 5 to 10%. However, the research in the field of higher education has seen an upward trend.
काफ़ी प्रोफेसर्स ऐसे हैं जो अमेरिका के प्रोफेसर्स के साथ मिलके अपनी रिसर्च कर रहे हैं, पर एक जगह और हम अमेरिका से काफ़ी योगदान चाहते हैं, वो ये कि जो अमेरिका में जिन लोगों ने PhD ख़त्म कर ली है, खासकर भारतीय मूल के या दूसरे जो भी नागरिक हैं, हम उनमें से अच्छे नागरिकों को चाहते हैं कि वो आके हमारे यहाँ प्रोफेसर के पद पे आसीन हो।
Collaboration between any countries is good. I think both sides usually have things to offer to improve, so I think we should all work together in that to help each other out. India is well known as a wonderful place to study. Some of the best schools in the world, I think, are here in India.
America is still the first choice of Indian students when it comes to studying abroad. More than 2 lakh students are pursuing their higher studies in the United States of America. Every 5th student in America is an Indian. Indian students contribute more than $8 billion to US economy. Clearly, Indian students play a very important role in strengthening not only the people-to-people connect between India and United States, but also ties in various spheres. Nishant Saurav's report, DD India, New Delhi.
And Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Wednesday made a surprise visit to Hunar Haat at Rajpath, where he interacted with artisans and relished litti chokha and kulhar tea. Soon after chairing a meeting of the Union Cabinet, Prime Minister reached Hunar Haat at Rajpath. Hunar Haat is being organized at Rajpath along India Gate by the Ministry of Minority Affairs. The Prime Minister took a round of the Haat and was spotted at several stalls to interact with master craftsmen and artisans. Take a look at this report.
A people's Prime Minister sipping kullad ki chai, taking selfies, tasting litti chokha, seated on a charpai. Yes, we are talking about Prime Minister Modi's surprise stop over the Hunar Haat at India Gate on Wednesday. Jan Sevak Narendra Modi interacted with the artisans from across the country. Even trying his hand at some musical instruments. He tweeted, "The colors and diversity of India on display. Spent a wonderful afternoon at the Hunar Haat on India Gate. It showcases the best of products, including handicraft, carpets, textiles, and of course, delicious food. Do visit it." Over 250 stalls have been set up at the India Gate lawns, and more than 50% of the artisans participating are women. Prime Minister Modi also interacted with a Divyang artist.
हुनर हाट के बारे में मुझे पता चला आपकी स्कीम के बारे में, तो मैंने हुनर हाट में पार्टिसिपेट किया और मुझे रेगुलर इन लोगों ने
कितना बेचती हो?
सर मैंने घर खरीद लिया।
The theme of this year's Hunar Haat is Kaushal Ko Kaam. Prime Minister Modi was accompanied by the Minority Affairs Minister Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi. The ministry is the organizing agency for this initiative that has become employment and empowerment exchange for master artisans and craftsmen. These haats are being set up across the country. Bureau Report, DD News.
Well, Arunachal Pradesh and Mizoram are celebrating their statehood day today. Both the states attained their statehood in 1961 and 1987. Union Home Minister Amit Shah will visit the state to attend the statehood day function in Itanagar. On this occasion, Home Minister will launch several projects. He will also launch the Arunachal Pradesh Industrial and Investment Policy 2020. The Home Minister will also lay the foundation stone of the new headquarters in the state police and flag off the sanitation vehicles for all the urban towns of the state. Union Ministers Kiren Rijiju and Dr. Jitendra Singh will also attend the function.
Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar on Wednesday released the research annual Bharat 2020, an yearbook that highlights the flagship programs of the government. The yearbook also carries exhaustive and comprehensive information about the country's political activities, progress and achievements of various central government ministries, departments and organizations during the year in New Delhi. Interacting with media, the Information and Broadcasting Minister said that the book is a complete reference manual for all people, including those appearing for competitive examinations. Javadekar also released the e-version of the publication. The e-version can be accessed on a variety of devices such as tablets, computers, e-readers and smartphones.
Well, the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change has announced that a marine and mammal survey will be taken up as part of the resource mapping of marine life across the coast in the country. This was announced at the plenary session of the 13th session of the Conference of Parties to the Convention of Conservation of Migratory Species of Wild Animals, which is being held in Gujarat's Gandhinagar.
India is developing a policy to deal with marine species that frequently get stranded on shores. India will also adopt an internationally recognized standard operating procedure with slight modifications to suit the country's needs. A marine mammal survey will also be undertaken by the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. India's delegation to the 13th Conference of Parties to the United Nations Environment Programme's Convention on the Conservation of Migratory Species of Wild Animals confirmed to DD News that they will undertake the survey, which was earlier announced by PM Narendra Modi.
Marine mammal and marine animals are very important for us, and we are taking a big step towards the conservation of the marine mammal and marine species. And to be particular, India will be releasing its marine turtle policy very soon. And to assist the conservation of the marine mammal, India will be also releasing, as the Honorable Prime Minister has said, the marine stranding policy. Both of these are expected to be done by 2020, by the end of 2020.
The survey will be done with the help of Central Marine Fisheries Research Institute. It will be carried out along both the eastern and the western coast to map India's marine resources. This will help in finalization of data along with ways to manage the country's marine resources. Centre is developing a policy to conserve the marine turtle population as well by involving cooperation with more than one departments and ministries.
हम एक सर्वे कराने के लिए सोच रहे हैं with the assistance of the CMFRI for mapping and finding out the species which are available in the marine areas of our country, on either side of the country, both in the east as well as in the west coast.
Central Marine Fisheries Research Institute has studied pollution and litter in the coastal and marine ecosystem and their impact among various other studies related to marine life.
Leading by example, in COP13, India has announced its policy for marine and mammal. It will be launching a marine turtles policy as well as marine stranding management policy by 2020. This policy will go a long way in protecting the aquatic life in the country. With cameraman Sumit Naudiyal, this is Taposh Bhattacharya, TD News, Gandhinagar.
The Supreme Court appointed interlocutors visited Shaheen Bagh on Wednesday to initiate talks with the protesters. The interlocutors asserted that the top court has upheld their right to protest, but it should not affect the rights of other citizens. The two interlocutors were appointed by the Apex Court to play a constructive role as interlocutors to persuade the protesters to move to an alternative site where no public place is blocked. They told the protesters that they will listen to everyone and find solution to the problem. After the meeting, interlocutors said that they held constructive talks with the protesters.
External Affairs Minister S. Jayashankar on Wednesday held a very good meeting with his German counterpart Heiko Maas in Berlin. Both leaders discussed a range of bilateral and global issues including counter-terrorism, climate change, multilateralism, connectivity and technology among others. Jayashankar thanked the German Foreign Minister for his country's strong support for the expanded India-EU cooperation.
External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jayashankar inaugurated the India Pavilion at the 70th Berlin International Film Festival. The Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, Government of India, in collaboration with Confederation of Indian Industry, is participating in this 70th event. Take a look.
No drama, just quality film seems to be the watchword as the Berlin Film Festival opens with subtle inaugural celebrations for its 70th anniversary edition. This year in Berlin, 3 Indian feature films as well as 1 short documentary film have been selected. Pushpendra Singh's Laila Aur Saat Geet, Pratik Path's Iboale O, Akshay Indikar's Talpuram, Chronicle of Space are part of the Panorama section, and Ekta Mittal's Gumnam Din has been selected in the short documentary category. External Affairs Minister S. Jayashankar held Indian cinema's flag high while inaugurating the Indian Pavilion at the Berlin International Film Festival.
If filmmakers from across the world, especially from Germany, could come to India for their films. We have established, I believe, a single window for processing film shooting, and with one film visa, we deal with different locales and ambiences. Now we have co-production agreements with many countries, but Germany is a very notable country there, and we intend to offer incentives for shooting in India.
External Affairs Minister S. Jayashankar also released the poster of the International Film Festival of India 2020. India seeks to promote its film across linguistic, cultural and regional diversity. It aims at establishing multiple international collaborations in the space of distribution, production, filming in India and script development technology through its participation at Berlinale 2020. The 2020 edition of Berlin International Film Festival offers a total of 342 films screening in 9 different categories. 18 films will be competing for the prestigious Golden and Silver Bears, including Berlin's hometown favorite, Berlin Alexanderplatz, and Iranian drama There Is No Evil. Bureau Report, DD News.
India will today send a military aircraft to China to evacuate its nationals from COVID-19 hit Wuhan. The Indian Air Force C-17 aircraft will also carry a large consignment of medical supplies to the neighboring country. After coming back from Wuhan, the evacuees will be taken to the ITBP camp where all preparations are in place. Earlier, the government had evacuated over 600 Indians from China by sending Air India planes following the outbreak of COVID-19. Meanwhile, all 406 people who were quarantined in the ITBP camp in the national capital have departed to their homes after they tested negative for COVID-19. In Japan, several Indians on board the Diamond Princess are receiving treatment in hospitals after testing positive for COVID-19 over the last few days. Indian Embassy in Tokyo in a tweet said the health condition of all 7 Indians are improving. It further said that the Indians receiving treatment are responding well.
In Iran, 2 people have died after testing positive for COVID-19 in the Islamic Republic's first case of the disease. Now, according to the news agency, the pair who died were Iranian citizens and residents of the holy city of Qom. They were also the first deaths from COVID-19 virus in the Middle East and only the 7th and 8th outside China, where the outbreak has killed more than 2,000 people. State news agency quoted a ministry spokesman as saying that the virus was detected in 2 elderly people with immunity problems in Qom in south of Tehran.
In Germany, at least 8 people were killed in separate shooting incidents in Hanau on Wednesday. Police said the suspects are currently at large. The motive behind the incident was not immediately clear. The shooting took place at 2 bars in 2 different parts of the city. The perpetrators reportedly opened fire at the first bar in Hanau's downtown, killing 3 people. Then they drove to the neighborhood of Kesselstadt and opened fire at the second bar, where 5 people died. Authorities are currently looking for the suspects who are said to have fled the scene.
Sri Srinivasan, a prominent Indian-American judge, has created history by becoming the first person of South Asian descent to lead a powerful federal circuit court, considered next only to the US Supreme Court. Srinivasan took over as the chief judge of the influential appeals court in Washington, D.C., the first person of Indian origin to lead a federal court. That is just one step short of the US Supreme Court. He was the first ever Indian American to be appointed to the second most powerful court of the US. Naomi Rao, nominated by President Donald Trump, is the second Indian American on this powerful judiciary bench. Born in Chandigarh and raised in Lawrence, Kansas, Srinivasan received a BA from Stanford University, a JD from Stanford Law School, and an MBA from the Stanford Graduate School of Business.
Well, moving to sports stories, Atlanta's Champions League fairy tale continued as they put Valencia to the sword. The Italian Minnows are enjoying their first taste of Europe's elite competition, and Atlanta's Champions League debut campaign looks set to continue into the quarterfinals after they thumped Valencia 4-1 to take a commanding lead into the second leg of the last 16 tie. The regular ground not meeting UEFA stadium standards, so they used the San Siro instead. But that had no effect on Atlanta, who scored 4 goals in just over an hour to produce yet another Euro giant killing. Tottenham Hotspur are no strangers to Champions League miracles after the exploits in Amsterdam that took them to the last season's final. Now they need another one to overcome the 1-0 loss to RB Leipzig in this last 16 tie. Jose Mourinho's colourfully claimed Son Heung-min's broken arm had left them weakened. RB Leipzig, impressively organized and progressively under the 32-year-old coach Julian Nagelsmann, the youngest to take charge of a Champions League knockout tie, deserve this victory and more given their domination. If Spurs win, it will be the first time, in fact, that Jose Mourinho has overturned a first leg deficit. Having gone on the previous occasions, he has trailed in the Champions League.
And Navi Mumbai will host the final of the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup on November 21st. 5 host cities across India will host the 32 matches involving 16 of the world's best youth teams in women's football. The official slogan was unveiled as the tournament will showcase future stars of the women's game from 2nd till 21st of November this year.
The stage is set for the future stars of women's football as the match schedule and host cities for the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup in India were unveiled. With a little over 250 days to go until the action gets underway, Ahmedabad, Bhubaneswar, Guwahati, Kolkata and Navi Mumbai have been confirmed as the 5 host cities for the tournament. 16 teams featuring the rising stars of women's football will compete across 32 matches to lift the coveted trophy in Navi Mumbai on 21st of November.
We will try to generate as much as awareness possible to make sure that we break all the records in terms of viewership, in terms of success, in terms of standard, in terms of the participation in the stadium.
In another significant announcement, the official slogan "Kick Off the Dream" was also unveiled by FIFA and the local organizing committee.
9 months' time, India will be creating history once again by hosting its first ever women's FIFA tournament. It's a massive step forward. I think there will be several historic moments.
Host India will play their matches in Guwahati. The knockout stage matches will be played in 4 venues with the final in Navi Mumbai.
We will not have double headers anymore, but we will have single headers for quarter-final, semi-final, and for the last day of the tournament, when we would like to celebrate football, women's football, and we will also be announcing and revealing the winner of the competition. We will be playing another doubleheader on the 21st of November.
Following the launch of the official emblem in November 2019, the unveiling of the 5 host cities and the match schedule marks a major milestone for the tournaments as fans in the host cities and across India prepare to welcome the future stars and heroes of women's football.
We knew about this World Cup a couple of years back. It's not that the World Cup was allotted to us as of yesterday. The moment we got the FIFA Under-17 World Cup, we put all the support mechanism to build the Indian national team to its fullest potential.
India will next seek to host the Under-20 World Cup and the prestigious FIFA Club World Cup in the near future. Anil Thomas, DD News, New Delhi.
Well, the 2022 Commonwealth Games is considering a left field bid to allow shooting and archery to be staged in India months before the main event in Birmingham. Pressure has been building on administrators to reverse their previous decision to drop the sports from the medal program after India threatened to boycott the 2022 Games. As an alternative, the nation has now offered to host at New Delhi or Chandigarh separate championship for both shooting and archery. David Gravenberg, the Commonwealth Games Federation Chief Executive, will chair a meeting this week when the offer could be agreed in principle.
I also thank the Lordship and team for their support in the UK Parliament for the inclusion of shooting and archery in the upcoming Commonwealth Games 2020 in Birmingham. So now once that is agreed, how to conduct, where to conduct, that is a matter to be decided by the Games Committee.
We have a fairly good chance of it coming through, and it's not a question of how one feels. It is essential to ensure, it is our duty to ensure the continuation of one's sport worldwide, including within the Commonwealth. So it is a very important sport, fourth most popular sport, so therefore it's a good thing.
Mongolia will host the first International Youth Green Games in 2020. The Games will be held in the capital Ulaanbaatar from 13th till 19th of September. Mongolia's scheduled hosting of the Children of Asia International Sport Games has been scrapped. The International Youth Green Games are open to all 195 member countries of the UN's Sustainable Development Goals. Athletes will be aged up to 18 years. The Mongolian ambassador to India met Union Sports Minister and extended the invitation to send the Indian contingent for the Green Games.
ना केवल प्रतियोगिता है, एथलीट की कंपटीशन है, बल्कि युवकों को सिखाने के लिए नेचर कितना महत्वपूर्ण है, इकोलॉजिकल बैलेंस कितना खतरनाक हालत में है, इसलिए हमारा सरकार ने भारत की टीम को न केवल निमंत्रण करते हैं, बाकी उन लोगों के एक्सपेंडिचर को बेयर करने के लिए, तो हम बहुत अपेक्षा है हमें.
Well, the Mongolian ambassador, they're speaking fluent Hindi. Well, after a look at the sporting story, it is time now to take a look at the national dailies and the headlines from the national dailies in the national capital.
The first paper we picked this morning is the Hindustan Times. The Hindustan Times says marching to well may cost RS members their voting rights. So the proposed new rule says that a panel is formed to review the House rules, and it has suggested that lawmakers who do so will be barred from voting rights. The panel has also suggested that discussions under Rule 267, that is a route favoured by opposition parties demanding an urgent debate, will be restricted to just half an hour, and all the rules be made gender neutral.
Well, maybe a step in the right directions to bar the MPs from walking into the well of the House at every given occasion. Well, moving ahead to the next story that we are taking a look today, it comes from the Asian Age, and this is from the front page of Asian Age, where the new visa rules that are going to come, and it's going to be bring a lot of cheer to Indian skilled workers. At least the new policy that's been launched there by the UK minister there, Priti Patel, clearly indicating that this new visa system will attract the brightest and the best from the world, including from India, and reduce the number of cheap as well as low-skilled workers coming to the country. This particular system comes into force from the 1st of January 2021 at the end of the transition period of the UK's exit from the European Union.
All right, with that we'll pick up the next paper, that is again the Hindustan Times, but the bottom anchor story says no country adequately protecting children's health and future. A grim report put forth by the paper there. It's a UN-led study, and it has been published by A Future for the World's Children report is the name of the report, and it has been published by a commission of 40 global child and adolescent health experts by World Health Organization, UNICEF and the Lancet. The predatory marketing of junk food, sugary beverages, alcohol and tobacco products are preying on children, and they must be regulated, says the report. And also what's more shocking, Anil, is that it says no single country is adequately protecting the children's health, their environment and their future.
Well, surely a message for parents to look forward to and be careful when they buy products for their kids.
Yes.
Moving to the next newspaper, that's the Times of India on the front page. This is a story about a Muslim who's going to head a Lingayat mutt down south, striking out a less trodden path. A Lingayat mutt in Gadag district of North Karnataka is set to make a Muslim youth its pontiff. Diwan Sharif Rahim Saaf Mullah is just 33 and will take charge on the 26th of this month. He is influenced by the teachings of the 12th century reformer Basavana since childhood and would work towards the ideals of social justice and harmony.
The Indian Express in its bottom story brings to us a very interesting report. It says how to videos in sign language, different and unique. It says two couples script a personal startup story. Now this was started, this is a team of 7 and it's as much professional as it is personal because all are hearing impaired.
Okay.
And these two young couples in Kerala have joined hands for a special project inside the government-backed Techno Park in Thiruvananthapuram. That aims to build an online link to better the future for the hearing impaired. And also this was launched, this organization was launched 4 months ago and has already developed 20 videos in sign language, most of which explain basic tools such as Photoshop and skills like video editing.
Well, breaking new barriers there and creating a name for themselves, making it to the front pages. Well, now time to move ahead. The soul of India resides in its villages. According to the 2011 census, 68.84% of the population live in villages. In such a situation, empowering rural India can result into a developed India. The Shyama Prasad Mukherjee Urban Mission was proposed by the central government in the budget of 2014-15 to bridge the gap between the villages. In September 2015, the Union Cabinet had approved the mission, giving priority to the development of socio-economic and infrastructures in rural areas.
Under this scheme, it was intended to develop 300 clusters over 3 years. These clusters are geographically composed of several Gram Panchayats. For the selection of these clusters, the Ministry of Rural Development has prepared a scientific process under which various aspects such as population, economic prospects, capacities, tourism, etc. have been analyzed at the district, sub-district and village levels. Under this mission, skill development training, food processing, construction of storage godowns, digital education, sanitation, door-to-door water supply, solid waste management, rural roads, drainage, mobile health units, improvement of school and higher education, e-village connectivity, public transport system, citizen service center and LPG gas supply service etc. are included. The main reason of a farmer suicides due to destruction of his crop is lack of alternative means of income for him. People from rural areas migrate to cities in search of employment, better education and health. As a result, the pressure of population in cities is constantly increasing. The government is working fast on this mission for a complete solution to these issues. Bureau Report, DD India.
And Tripura is one of the most beautiful states in India. With its green valleys and hills, Tripura is a traveller's paradise. The cultural land of Tripura has some beautiful tourist attractions to explore. Let us take a virtual tour of Ujjayanta Palace there.
The gleaming white Ujjayanta Palace, located in the capital city of Agartala, recalls the saga of Tripura Maharajas. The royal name of Ujjayanta Palace was given by Nobel laureate Rabindranath Tagore. It is a unique experience to witness the glorious history and royal splendor within the walls of Ujjayanta Palace. The palace was built by Maharaja Radhekishore Manikya. This stunning palace is built using the Indo-Saracenic style of architecture on the banks of a small river with lush green Mughal gardens surrounding it. Built in 1901, this two-storied palace has 3 domes, each 86 feet high. The interior of the palace is beautifully done with a style flooring, carved wooden ceiling and doors. There are many temples set around the palace. Today, this palatial structure is Northeast India's largest museum and portrays the culture and heritage of the region. Sudipto Kar's report, DD News, Tripura.
Well, after a look at that particular story, it's time now to take a look at the weather in your city. Well, that's all we have time for in this edition of Breakfast Show. But before we leave you with a positive thought every day. Today's thought is, remember that life is full of ups and downs. Without the downs, the ups mean nothing.
Yes, the ups mean nothing. And also, every day we also leave you with some good visuals which have that feel-good factor that I'm sure will stay with you throughout the day. Today, we'll get you visuals of wintry sky in northern Finland that was lit up with displays of northern dancing lights. Take a look. Have an equally good day ahead. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.